When your company owns no less than 18 brands, you'd expect some frontrunners, flagship brands, and you'd also expect some hidden gems and overlooked properties. Well, today we're going to have a look at a brand that I believe falls into the latter of the categories, especially in my neck of the woods. Enter the MIDO Ocean Star, a versatile, functional, and I'm going to say it, goddamn pretty watch. I really enjoyed last week's deep dive into Hamilton so much, I've decided to do it again. And since MIDO and Hamilton are part of the Swatch Group, I think we could start a series of deep dives into the Swatch Group sub-brands. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Now before we begin, I just want to say that there are a lot of pronunciations in this that I'm probably going to get wrong and butcher. So have a go at me in the comments below, but again, I'm English, a lot of the pronunciations in here obviously aren't, so there will be some things that I will get wrong. MIDO watches began life in 1918 when an experienced and ingenious Swiss watchmaker, Georges Charan, apologies if I butchered the pronunciation, the company was originally named MIDO G. Charan & Co. And with the name MIDO taken from the Spanish word for measure, from day one, as you can imagine, the brand became synonymous with technical innovation and timeless designs. It didn't take very long for MIDO to find its unique place in the market. It specialised in modern straps, enamelled shaped cases for both men and women. And in the 1920s, MIDO found another niche market in the automotive world and was integrated in the grilles of a wide range of brands such as Buick, Bugatti, Fiat, Ford and more. Fast forward to 1930s, MIDO very successfully concentrated on the production of scroll-free, functional and very resistant watches. In particular, the invention of the cork crown sealing system, later known as the Aquadura, was pioneered for absolute water tightness, a rare feature in those days. This led to the multi-fort line, which is a term which is now well known among MIDO enthusiasts. But for those of you who are not aware, it was the first anti-magnetic watch with a self-winding movement with built-in water and shock resistance. The Multifort was then the best-selling MIDO watch from the 1930s to the 1950s. For those of you who are like me and are sci-fi fans, 1939 saw the introduction of the MIDO Ambassador, a robot called Roby. This was a symbol of MIDO's progress and robustness, and developments continued into the 1950s with the development of the power wind system, with increased reserve reliability by reducing the components of 17 to 7 pieces. During this decade, a new line was launched, the Ocean Star. This marked the introduction of the revolutionary single shell case, eliminating any water resistance problems from the back of the case. The combination of this technology with the Aquadura crown sealing system made MIDO watches withstand even the most severe conditions. Today, this tradition of Ocean Star continues to live on with the famous Commander watch collection. Innovations continued with the launch of the smallest ladies' automatic watch ever manufactured. And then in 1981, the then world champion of tennis Bjorn Borg became the official spokesperson for MIDO Swiss watches. It was 15 years later that MIDO released two high-tech models for the time: the Bodyguard, a personal security assistant by providing the user with integrated security alarm that had over 100 decibels, and the World Timer, the first analog watch which indicated the local time zone anywhere in the world instantly with an almost play-like ease of use. Since the turn of the century, MIDO, now under the control of the Swatch Group umbrella, released models that were well received in the 30th and 40th anniversary of the Baroncelli model and to celebrate the 90th and 100th anniversaries of the company. Whilst releasing these anniversary models, the 2010s saw MIDO investing in the future by entering into a partnership with the UIA, the International Union of Architects. It held design competitions with professionals in the industry, and it also became an official partner of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Today there are the most popular lines of MIDO watches are the Baricelli, the Commander, Multifort, and finally the range we will be discussing today, the Ocean Star. The Ocean Star by MIDO. It comes in all manner of colourways and types. You've got a chronograph model, a rather fetching GMT model, a tribute reissue model, a 600 metre chronometer certified model, a limited edition decompression timer model, and finally not one but two 200 metre standard dive models, all in different colourways, so you're really definitely spoilt for choice, but that's only if you can find one in your region. So I've been looking for a MIDO for a while. I'm a fan of the general design, and for a while, apart from a few reviews on YouTube in the UK, there seems to be very little exposure of the brand. In the end, I managed to find one on eBay from somebody who hadn't taken the tags off it. I didn't ask him where he got it from, but it looks like on the MIDO website you may be able to find an outlet close to you, so that's probably where I want to steer you to. I'll leave non-affiliate links in the description below. Full retail price for my model is around £870, but prices start at £760 for the black dial and go up to around £1,200 depending on what you're looking for. The specs of this watch in particular are 42.5mm diameter including crown, 11.8mm of thickness, 22mm lug width, which I had to double check as there is a crazy amount of taper initially, which evens out and makes it feel and look more like a 20mm, screw down crown and 200 meters of water resistance, and flat sapphire crystal with a fantastic double-sided anti-reflective coating. Powering the watch is the Medo Calibre 80. As previously mentioned, this can come with a COSC certification and is based on the SWATCH Group's venerable ETA movement. This modified movement offers a whopping 80 hours of power reserve, making it an incredibly versatile offering. It has a day-date complication and 25 joules, and of course it hacks and hand winds. Screw links and a very comfortable clasp, mill double security pusher, and a fantastic glide lock diver's extension that allows extension on the fly, makes this a very comfortable watch on wrist. If you've ever owned a Satina's divers, it is the same style, which shouldn't be surprising as they're part of the same group. The bezel is a 60-click unidirectional bezel, there's no backplay or bounce, and as you can see when it sits on my 7.5-inch wrist, you can see I think it wears especially well, and it is very, very comfortable on wrist as well. But it wears especially well thanks to that thin case. As usual, let's round off the video with the usual what I like and what I dislike about the MIDO Ocean Star. Firstly, the case is very flat, so for those of you with a smaller wrist than mine, especially with that 42mm diameter, you may find it a struggle. Secondly, the lume is passable but not spectacular. It's quite disappointing on a watch of a similar sort of nature. I'd say the only thing that I personally find disappointing about this watch though is the lume. But here are some of the great points to consider with this watch too. First, the design I think is fantastic. And I think whichever option you choose of the design, it's rather flashy rose gold or it's more subdued black colour, I think you're going to like it. Second is the anti-reflective coating. It's fantastic and really makes the dial more eligible. The crystal is so well finished that at times you can't even tell there's glass over the dial. The only way that I can compare it for you guys to think of is it's not quite as good as the Omega, the Aquaterra or the Seamaster, but it is very, very good. And then the final thing I really like about this watch is the bracelet. It's comfy, well finished, with the addition of an amazing clasp. In my opinion, it is well worth the money. Again, it is just a shame about that lume. So anyway guys, to round off this review, what do you guys think of the MIDO range? Are you a fan of MIDO watches, or did you know about them before today? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and of course I'll see you in the next video.